Hey friends, it's me, Jonah, and Valentine's Day is coming up, so I made a new project, and this is a heart, and you can use it as a hot pad. You can hang it on your wall with the loop here, or you can just have it right out on your center table as an amazing centerpiece. And I chose Valentine's Day colors, a purple, a deep purple, a nice bright cherry red, and then a fuchsia. And I really like the way that this is created because you make 3 different granny squares and 2 of them are rounded at the corners, and then you do puffs in the center. And I chose this brown because I think it has a really nice contrast and it's neutral with all the other Valentine's Day colors. And then I did all my other accents with this cream and then put them together. And then I'll also be showing you how to do this very nice puff bobble stitch border, which adds a lot of texture and dimension to your hot pad or however you plan to use it. And to make this, you'll need any regular 4 cotton yarn. I would use Patton's Grace or Lily Sugar and Cream, a 5mm hook, your tapestry needle, and of course a pair of scissors. So to begin, I'll be showing you how to make one of these center rings right here with the puffs. And by the way, this is treble crochet puffs, not double crochet like normal. So to begin, you just got to pull out a length of yarn. And just make your slip knot by wrapping it around your fingers and leaving your tail out through your left hand and creating an X, and then turn your hand over and put your hook underneath that loop and pull through towards the back, and then grab both of these strands, pull it tight, and then grab the longer one and pull it to your hook. Next, we're going to make a chain 4 ring. So what you do is you have to wrap around your hook once, going around the back to the front, pull through, that's 1 chain, go around again, pull through, that's 2, 3, 4, you can count it with these V's, 1, 2, 3, 4, then you have to slip stitch right into that first chain. You go in, pull up a loop, and then you pull right through that second one. And now we're going to start by working into the ring we created. So you got to chain 1, like we did earlier, and then insert your hook right into that circle, working over this strand so you can weave it in easier, and pull up a loop. You now have 2 on your hook. Then next, you have to yarn over and pull through these 2 loops, and that creates your first single crochet. Go back into that same spot, pull up another loop, single crochet. Go in again, pull up another loop, single crochet. That was 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and once you get to 9, it's kind of helpful, just kind of slide your stitches back. 10, 11, 12, and then take that straggler that you've been working over and just put it towards the back. And then now we're going to slip stitch to our first single crochet. You go right into the top of those 2 arrows on your stitch, yarn over, and then just pull through and make that slip stitch. Then you can just pull to the back, pull that straggler tight, and then now that you've already put 12 stitches over that straggler, you can just lay your project down flat, and then just snip that straggler right off. Then you can go out a ways and snip your yarn. And you gotta yarn over and pull through, and then just pull that tight. And now you have to pull out your cream yarn. And I'll be making 3 of these puffs with you out of the 12, so you have to start by just chaining 2. You wrap your hook twice, go into that same stitch, pull up a loop, and then you see that you have 4, 2 and 2. Yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2 again. Yarn over, pull through 2 again. You gotta wrap twice, go back in. And this, what we're doing right now, is treble crochets. That was number 2. Wrap, go back in. That was number 3. That was number 4 right there. And then you just drop that loop. You go right into the top of that first treble crochet, since you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Grab that loop back on your hook. Pull through, and then always to secure these, you start with chain 1, and then you chain a second time. Okay, now we're going to do a puff again. Go into our next stitch, being careful not to skip it. Doing 4 treble crochets. Number 2. Number 3. And that was number 4. So once again, you pull out a little bit, drop your loop, go back to your first stitch, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go underneath that chain, put the yarn back on your hook, and loop, and then pull 2. And I'll be doing 1 more of these puffs with you, and then that's what you'll just have to continue around. And then once you have 2, just slip stitch to the top of that puff like we have done all the other times with slip stitching. There's our second. There's our third. There's our fourth. Pull out a bit, drop our loop, go through, come back, and chain 2 again. You can see how these all bunch up nicely, and they're really nice popcorns, and how it makes your ring very tight, and that's how it creates that look that makes it like nicely secured and like a big beginning for the flower to bloom out into this beautiful color. Okay, so our next part will be to start the coloring of our piece. Okay, so now we're going to start by working on the colored part of our project, which uses the stitch granny square. Groups of 3 double crochets. But to start, I like to begin in the same stitch by just inserting my hook and then just making a loop with my yarn and pulling it through and back on. And then you chain up 2. 1, 2. Show you that again, making sure that this straggler stays down tight. 1, 2, and that's how you make it sure that it's secure. Then we're going to work half double crochet. You yarn over, insert into that same stitch, and pull up a loop. You see you have 3, yarn over and pull through all 3. Yarn over, insert back into that stitch, yarn over, pull through 3. Now we're going to double crochet. So you insert after wrapping over, yarn over and pull through 2. Yarn over, insert, pull up, pull through 2, pull through 2. Repeat that double crochet again. You need to chain 2 now. And work 3 more double crochets, and that's how you make your first corner of your first row. and then just let your straggler fall behind. Then just work 3 half double crochet into the next chain 2 space to be exact. Next, just go into your next stitch, and what you're going to do is work 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 more, and this is the only time you chain. Normally in granny squares you would chain, but we're not going to chain here, or else it would be not tight enough. Okay, now we're back to our 3rd corner. We're doing 3, and then 2, and then 3 more. See there how it's working up and it's actually already forming a square. And you can also see just right here how we form this right here, and then we'll also round it out in the next row. Three more half. Three into the next stitch, and then we're almost done with this round. Okay, there we go. 3, and then our final 3 to secure it. And then that was the ending right after you slip stitch into this second chain on your beginning. And now we've created the square round. And the next part is to begin the rounding. So you have to begin by chaining up 2 and into that same post, working 2 more double crochet, working right into that gap right here. Go into the next gap, working 3 more double crochets. And then we're going to work our corners the same for 2 of these corners, just like this. Working 3 double crochets, the chain 2, and then 3 more double crochets. And then continue just in the basic granny stitch, which is our groups of 3 double crochets going across. And then our next corner is the same. And then that will be, and then number 3 and 4 are where we will round it. There's 2, and then you do this in groups of 3 double crochet. There should be 3 on each side. This will be our last corner. Three, 2, okay, there is our second corner. You gotta continue working across, but right before your 3rd corner, after your 9 double crochets, you need to stop right at that moment. There we go. 3, one more, and then we're rounding. Okay, now that we've gotten to our corner and we have 2 of them put like actual corners and constructed, what you now have to do for this part is chain 1, and then into that chain gap put 3 single crochets, chain 1, and then just skip that gap, don't go back into it, and go to the next one and continue with your 3. Still going to be 3 on this side. Three right into this stitch. Chain 1, work 3, rounding that last corner, and then we just have to do 1 more. That was a chain of 3, rounding the corner, and doing 3 more double crochets. And now we have to slip stitch to the chain 2. Go out a ways, snip it, just yarn over and pull that tight, and that's how you get that rounded area. And you just got to maneuver your puffs a little bit until they're all equal and do not overlap each other. And there you go. That was just this part right here. And then you'd have to repeat that in your other choice of color for the purple one. And then this red one right down here. It's the same as all the other ones, except on the corners right here on these 2, you do not round it. You just work it the same as these corners right here, which is just 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, where you put your rounded corners. So you just got to change up the 2 corners, and then you have your 3rd block done. And then once you're finished with that, I'll show you how to do the construction and put them together and add this beautiful border. Okay, so now I've finished my 2 rounded corner squares and then my just plain granny square with all 4 corners squared, and these 2 of course have that rounded look to them. And now we're going to begin constructing by putting them together and then adding this nice textured border on, and then this loop up here, which is optional of course if you would like it. So to begin, you have to choose which side you would like your 2 rounded ones on. I'm putting purple on the right and pink on the left. So to start out with, you just push one side away and then face these 2 sides right against each other, and insert right into that chain 2 spot, to the chain 2 spot on the other side. Pull out your cream yarn, pull up, then you can yarn over, and then you insert your hook right into that same spot and back out to the other side. And with that, you create a single crochet, then you go into the back loop of this stitch right here, and the back loop right on the other side. This part's kind of tedious, making sure that you don't fray anything, but at the ending it works out very nicely and it's a flat stitch. Pull through, then you have your 2 and single crochet. Go into that next back loop again, out to the other side, and single crochet. Into that next back loop, into the other side's back loop, and single crochet. First side's back loop, second side's back loop, making sure that you only catch the top one. When you lay that flat, you can see exactly what we're doing. We're creating this single crochet so it lines it while connects it, and then you have these lines right here to add a little more dimension, and that's what you get by going through the back loop. Okay, worked out like approximately 4 or 5 stitches. So now you can just push your straggler to the back. And after you work a couple, these begin to go faster and they line up better. Next, back. Single crochet. Next back loop on this side, next one on the other side. Now you get to that next straggler and you can just push that down to the back and we'll weave it in later using our tapestry needle. Now it's going along quicker and you can see that it does work up faster, and I chose single crochet because it adds another ridge and it just kind of supports everything. And slip stitch, you would have the 2 colors reversed on the opposite side, which would really give it a messy look and not the nice clean look of single crochet. Here we are, just several stitches away. You just got to keep working in that back loop. Oh, this is our last back loop stitch. So we'll single crochet and then go right into that, both chain 2 spaces, single crochet. You can see how we're joining these now. Now you have to take out your pink square and then chain 1 and then go right back into that red and then into the opposite side of the same chain on your pink one and pull through and single crochet, and we'll work in that chain 1 later, and through this back loop on the next stitch, through the back loop on the other side and single crochet through both of the next back loops, both of the next. I kind of like to hold my first back loop a little farther down than the bottom one, because then you know exactly where you're going and you can see your next stitch's location. And we're still just single crocheting in both back loops, and then after this we will begin our textured border. Okay, so we haven't finished attaching that, but you can see how it's connected in the area, the spot right there, and how it'll come together. And now we just gotta keep single crocheting across this purple until you've completed, and then once you're done with that, I'll meet you back here. Okay, so I just finished my V in the middle of connecting, and now it's time to begin our bobble stitch border. So what you have to do is begin by turning your work so the wrong side's facing you. You'll know it's the wrong side because the puffs are not there. And then also your stitching looks just like that, and it's beautiful too. To begin, you single crochet in that same chain 2 spot. In the next stitch, you double crochet. In the next stitch, you single crochet. Next stitch, you double crochet. Next stitch, you're going to single crochet. And you gotta keep doing that. And with this sort of project, you have to be very careful that you don't skip a single stitch, because with the amount there are already, one off will be very noticeable. Double crochet, single crochet, and from the wrong side, it doesn't look like it's very bobbly, but since this is a stitch where it comes out the opposite reverse side, so when you flip it over, you can really see those bobbles popping out. And then what you'd have to do is just continue working all the way around, and then if you would like to add a loop, you can just do that. Just chain 31 as you're going around, and then just continue your bobble stitching, and then you'll have it complete. And another tip I have for you, if you're going to add a loop, make sure that the length of it is that it's about 1/2 inch to 1 inch taller than the tops of the hearts. And there is our Valentine's hot pad or wall hanging or just centerpiece or whatever you'd like it to be. And as you can see, I'm wearing my crochet away t-shirt with a ball of yarn and 2 of my 4 Jonah's Hands and Hello Crochet Friend pins, and I have all of this stuff and many other Jonah's Hands items on my website, jonahhands.com. And goodbye and crochet away, friends.